Paying more for pop, it could happen. Lawmakers are debating a tax on sodas. And traffic is diverted for hours near downtown Lincoln. We'll tell you why. And many of us have smoke detectors, but do you have a carbon monoxide detector? For some, it may soon be mandatory. It's our top story on 10/11 News at 5. Good evening, I'm Laura Berry. Vanessa Flowers is off tonight. Well, thousands suffer from carbon monoxide poisoning each year. A life-saving device may soon be required by law. 10/11's Cassie Anderson joins us now from the newsroom with more. Cassie.
Omaha Senator Sarah Howard wants all Nebraskans to be protected against carbon after September 1st of next year.
Thanks for that report, Cassie. Well, if you were anywhere near 11th and K Streets today, you probably had to take a detour. Drivers and pedestrians had to be rerouted after a gas leak this morning. Streets were closed a few blocks in each direction from 11th and K for nearly 5 hours. Around 9:30 this morning, crews were called out. According to LFR, nearby construction crews hit a gas line, causing crews to respond and repair that break.
It appears just one of the construction crews on the backhoes that are up there while they were excavating apparently has either struck a low-pressure gas line or an abandoned gas line. Black Hills is yet to determine what got struck.
Obviously, somebody made a mistake.
You think it could have been prevented?
It could have been prevented. It really could have. I was just worried that I'd have to walk a block out of my way, really.
A representative from Black Hills Energy says the fix took longer than usual because of the location of the leak and the steps needed to repair it. Well, turning to weather now, it's certainly feeling like spring out there today. Brandon's in now with the first look at your forecast. Brandon.
Snow or combination of both.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Well, with this warm-up, many are thinking of ways to stay outdoors, at least for today. As spring draws near, many are sprucing up their lawns and gardens. 10/11's Bill Steckis is on the scene from the Lawn and Leisure Show with more.
Yeah, Event Center Bill Steckis, 10/11 News. Back to you.
Thanks, Bill. Well, it looks like a lot of fun out there. Anyway, with the support of area doctors, one Nebraska senator is looking to add a tax to soft drinks. 10/11's Kristen Bauer joins us live in the studio with more. Kristen.
Senator Bill Avery says his to better health.
Thanks, Kristen. Well, as we first mentioned yesterday, Nebraska has a new metropolitan area, Grand Island. So what does that mean for the community? 10/11 reporter Rowena Lee joins us now from Grand Island with more.
Live in the Grand Island studio, Rowena Lee, 10/11 News.
Thanks, Rowena. Well, still ahead on 10/11 News at 5, many celebrate St. Patrick's Day with traditional recipes. Stay tuned for some fun food ideas. Today was pretty toasty with temperatures topping out in the 70s. So how long will the heat stick around? Brandon will have your full forecast after the break. But first, a look at your Lincoln and Grand Island weather almanac.
With a forecast you can trust, here's 10/11 meteorologist.
Snow, so wintry precipitation is still possible for us.
You know, I had just put my winter wardrobe away, so...
Oh, too early for that.
I know. Just when I thought I could keep all those spring outfits out. Anyway, some changes on the way, but tonight feeling like barbecue weather, and so maybe take advantage of this evening's temperatures. If you're planning ahead for St. Patrick's Day and you need some fun food ideas, we'll have those for you coming up. But first, let's take a look at those closing numbers on Wall Street. The 10-day winning streak for the stock market ended today as the Dow dropped 25 points. Both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 were down as well. When you think of St. Patrick's Day foods, a dinner involving corned beef hash might come to mind. Today we have a modern twist on an old traditional favorite.
Chef Angelina feast that lets us all feel a little lucky to be eating.
Well, something you may not know about on St. Patrick's Day, the original color associated with the holiday was actually blue. Well, St. Patrick's Day isn't just about special foods. For some, it's all about the beverages. If you're planning to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with a pint or 4, we have hangover cures that won't help the next day. A few myths debunked here. Hangovers cost the U.S. more than $148 billion each year from people missing work or doing poorly when working. Ever heard that saying, liquor before beer, nothing to fear? Turns out it's not true. It doesn't matter what order the drinks are in. The more drinks, the better chances for a hangover. Some think that coffee will ease hangover symptoms. Also not true. The caffeine may give you a burst of energy, but once the rush is over, you could be left with an even worse headache. Some swear by a greasy breakfast the morning after a late night. That is actually somewhat true. Eating high-calorie meals the next day is important, but watch out. It could cause heartburn and I think maybe an increasing waistline as well. Still ahead today at 5, a basketball coach gets doused in Gatorade. See how it all went down. And speaking of cooling off, it sounds like we can expect some big changes in the forecast. Brandon's back with a final check of the weather. Time for a preview of what we can expect tonight on Nebraska Central News. NCN's Adam Uhernick joins us from our Grand Island studio with more. Adam.
Hey Laura, happy Friday to you. Have a great weekend.
You too, Adam. Thanks. Well, there's a reason why Gatorade baths aren't used to celebrate in basketball. When the North Platte Community College women's basketball team punched their ticket to their championship tournament, the team decided to douse their coach. The girls chased Coach Richard Thurin with the cooler, and he slipped on the entire bucket of Gatorade. Ouch. That looks painful.
Luckily, I think he's okay.
That's the good news.
That is the good news. That's why it's better to celebrate with like confetti and balloons in basketball versus the Gatorade, as we just saw.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, and looks like we're going to be cooling off as we get into this weekend, as we've talked about, but a pleasant evening tonight. Definitely get out and enjoy it. Here are our temperatures right now. Many of us well above average for this time of year. 82 in McCook right now, 73 Grand Island, 62 in Lincoln. A little bit cooler to the north, 50 in O'Neill. That's that cold air beginning to filter in. That'll be here for this weekend. We have variable cloudiness right now. That will continue this evening, but temperatures at 10 are still going to be on the mild side for many of us. We're talking about maybe around 40 in the northeast to perhaps mid-50s to 60 in the southwest. And here's a look at that weekend. Chances of precipitation. Could see some light rain and snowfall accumulations, so definitely stay tuned through the weekend. We'll have a little better handle as we get a little closer to it, but measurable snow will be possible.
Wow, I keep changing out that wardrobe.
You have to have a changeable one in March around here. Sure.
No, back and forth. Anyway, lots of changes ahead. Thanks for joining us tonight at 5. Stay tuned for the news update.